Lootaz. Recently considered one of the worst orc units in the entire codex by almost every single YouTuber I watched. And I don't blame them. With their low survivability, they can't really be a tank. With their shooting being pretty average, which is one of their biggest strengths, and access to pretty much no melee, they really fall behind when it comes to the orcs. And when everything is being shifted to a melee-based army with this popularity of beast snaggers rising so heavily, people are just ignoring them, and they just don't offer enough value to be considered a viable option in 10th edition. But I've been recently doing a lot of list updates. I've gone over a huge sweep, and I've been trying to make my list as competitive as possible because I'm actually looking into joining a club and playing a bit more of in the competitive scene to get more information for you guys so I can share. So, by the way, if you have access to any clubs on the Gold Coast of Australia, please let me know down in the comments below so I can join in and I can, start playing competitively and actually gain in more knowledge. So, like I said, if you have any clubs at all that are on the Gold Coast of Australia, please let me know. Put their website down below so I can go check them out. But anyway, that was just a little bit of a rant. But why am I telling you about my competitive list story? Well, I think it's got some morals that you might find very, very interesting. When I was doing my competitive list research, I wanted to add in Big Mech with Shock Attack Gun. I wanted to have him in. He's such a cool model. And even though he's not considered the most competitively viable unit, I think he can be quite strong. With his incredible shooting stats, like really good shooting stats, and his ability to apply Battle Shock, even though Battle Shock isn't that good, for the way I'm playing, he would make a awesome addition. And I wanted to find a way to add him in. But I couldn't. I did research, and all the things I researched, I didn't have a clue. And I wanted Big Mech Shock Attack Gun because I wanted another shooting strength. I wanted more shooting threats because 10th edition is more orientated towards shooting. So if I had flash gitz and another squad, I would be doing so well, but I couldn't find them. And that's when I found the Lootaz. And I think that they are incredible and they're not getting as much value as they deserve. And so in this video, I'm going to be going over exactly why I have chosen to take 10 Lootaz and 1 Big Mech with Shock Attack Gun for my squad. But without any further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, first I'm going to have to explain myself because I bet for so long you've been told that Lootaz are garbage. They're trash, they're awful, worst orc unit, no one uses them, and they're not Lootaz, they're losers. But after doing some digging, some research, some rough mathematical calculations, and running over some tests to see if their damage would actually be quite good output, I think I can prove that statement wrong. And I'm going to show you how. So let me run over what I actually plan to bring in my Lootaz list. So my plan is to bring 8 Lootaz with, obviously, def guns, and 2 spanners with rocket launcher, because with every 4 Lootaz you bring, you have to bring 1 spanner. So 8 Lootaz, 2 spanners with rocket launcher, and a Big Mech with Shock Attack Gun. Now let me go over what this is actually bringing. So, this, just the Lootaz, are costing 100 points. That's right. The Lootaz, including the spanners, so the whole unit of 10 is only 100 points. That is crazy good value, and I'll go into why. So first of all, they're cheap. They're coming in cheap and not going to be a big expense to your army. Next one is they have the potential, without rapid fire, to deliver a whopping 24 shots. And that's without rapid fire. And a round with rapid fire, they have the ability to give off 30 shots. That is potential of 30 shots when you get rapid fire. And with their def guns having a range of 48 inches. The only rapid fire you can be looking at is getting in a 28-inch range, which is most likely going to happen when you're moving up the board with your orcs. Now, the next part is what they actually hit on. Now, this can be quite a debated one because what they usually hit on is 6s, and this is what has been turned away from Lootaz for so long. And yes, they do get heavy, which gives them down to a 5, but it's still orc shooting. it's still 5s, and it can be really annoying. But their ability is where this can be turned around. You see, the Lootaz ability, that's our loot, allows for hit rerolls to be done every time a shooting attack is made against an enemy. And if that enemy is in range of the actual objective marker, that unit gets a full hit reroll. So those 24 shots, if in range of an objective marker, which will most likely be the case considering their high range, will be getting a whopping, amazing, incredible 30 potential shot hit complete reroll. That can be very, very powerful. Now we move on to another great factor of them, which is their strength. You're moving down the list to their strength. They have a strength of 8. That is incredible. That is looking at above average of most average unit strength and most average unit, general composition. So you're most likely going to be hitting on potential 5s, but most likely going to be hitting on 4s and sometimes even 3s. And with the Spanner's rocket launcher being a incredible strength 9, you could be looking at mainly hitting on 4s and having a more chance of hitting on 3s with that. So wounding isn't a big problem with their high strength guns. And with hit rerolls, you're more likely to get wounds off with that amount of damage. Then it's the AP. Now, yes, the rocket launchers and def guns are only coming in around 1 and 2 AP. Not the best, pretty average orc shooting, not too good. But after doing more research into this and finding out the plunging fire rule, which applies to any unit who is 6 inches vertically up on top of a 6 inches up on top of a terrain piece. If that unit is firing vertically down 6 inches into an enemy, they get a +1 to AP. That means that the def guns are hitting on a 2 AP and the rocket launchers are hitting on a 3. Which means this just gives more access to your orc army for an extra 3 AP that you can have with an actual viable unit that can be powerful. Then there's the damage, and this is where it can be so helpful because they have an amazing flat 2 damage. The def guns have flat 2 damage and rocket launchers have an amazing flat 3. So even if you're hitting an average of only 6 shots out of the 30 shots that you have a potential to make, that is still a whopping around 12 damage. If only your def guns hit 12 damage, you can apply to a unit, and this is so helpful when going up against non-vehicle units as you get that amazing hit reroll. There's more potential to do that 6 shots, only needs 6, to do a whopping 12 damage, which can be incredible, and that's why I think Lootaz can be very good, honest potential for a great shooting threat. Where does Big Mech with Shock Attack Gun play into this? Where is he? He's the star of the show after all. Well, let me explain. His gun is incredible. With a range of 60, he's a 60-inch range. You're most likely going to be covering every single part of the board with his range. It's incredible, 60, fantastic. His shots, D6 +1, incredible. That allows for 7 potential shots to be made onto an enemy with a 60-inch range, so it's very easy to target. Then he hits on a 5 up. Not the best average orc shooting, but with his heavy potential, he can hit on a 4 up. And with his amazing range, like I've said multiple times, he's most likely going to be standing still, which is going to give him heavy. Then move on, strength 9. Once again, incredible, just like the Spanners. Awesome for getting those 4s and 3s when you're rolling for wound. Fantastic. AP -4. This is where he really gets to shine, because as soon as his shots get made off, that AP -4, no matter how tough an enemy, is going to force them to get their invulnerable saves, which can be devastating for armies like the big tanky armies that need their good save value. This 4-up can just be incredibly powerful. Then we move on to damage. Now his damage is D6, which is also another great potential to do damage. So basically, Big Mech Shock Attack Gun covers all bases. He's going to be another great implement to this looter army and give so much more shooting, with the potential of doing a crazy amount of 37 shots added to the looters. 37, that's a hideous amount of damage that can be going into a single form of attacking. But we're not done with him yet. You see, the looter's ability to re-roll their complete hit roll when an enemy is an objective of a objective marker is stated to be part of the unit. And when Big Mech with Shock Attack Gun joins that unit, he becomes part of the unit. So he will also be receiving this complete hit roll. So you'll be able to completely re-roll his hit roll when he's rolling on a 4. So you're going to be doing some hideous amount of damage with that incredible potential to do a lot of firepower with his thing. And even if they supply no value shooting, even if everything misses, they still have the potential to apply Battle Shock. Big Mech with Shock Attack Gun has his ability, which is his crazy Gretchens going ham on the enemy and making them take a Battle Shock test. Now yes, it does suck, but if you're shooting potentially always in the objective marker, having the potential to apply a 0 OC effect to the enemy can be great, especially if you're going second, because it ends the battle turn and allows for you to have full control over the objective like that. Easy peasy. He's only 75 points, so it brings the model to 175 points with the potential of doing almost 40 shots. I think that's an absolute bargain. For the damage you get, the AP, the strength, all the buffs and everything, it's an incredibly valuable, strong, awesome shooting unit that can be taken cheaply, and so you can still have your favorite units involved. That's going to be all me today, and I hope you really enjoyed this video. And if you're curious about how to successfully apply this devastating unit into your army to create another shooting threat for cheap points, then go check out the War Room, my private community, where I make high valuable content for low prices, so people like you can continue to grow and advance in Warhammer without the horrible charging prices and the annoying people that you meet everywhere. But like I said, that's going to be all me today, and if you really want to know how to save big amounts of money on Warhammer, go sign up to my private video down below. All you have to do is put in your name and your email, and the video file will be instantly downloaded into your thing, so you can watch 4 ways I successfully save ridiculous amounts of money on Warhammer. But that's going to be all me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.